Howdy folks, my name's Darren from RC Scale Models, and today again I'm back with you with another kit review or sprue review. This one's on the Fairey Barracuda. It's from Trumpeter. It's 1/48 scale. It is one of the Fleet Air Arms Navy aircraft. It carries torpedoes like you see on the box. It can also drop bombs, depth charge and that kind of thing. I do like the Fleet Air Arms stuff. Let's take a look inside this box. So we get a nice box art of the aircraft taking the torpedo into battle. This side of the box we have CAD work, so you get different options. You can have Canopy open and close, which doesn't actually show you, but it does in the instructions. Already had a quick brief. We can have folded wings, nice cockpit detail. I do have an upgrade set for this. I do have the Mk.II complete resin upgrade set and decals and stuff. Nice front detail, photo etch and whatever. This part of the language, as I say, it's this 2024, but it's only just been released over in the UK, so we're a little bit late over here. This side of the box as well, kit number 05825 148. Marking options, we have these ones here. We have the Barracuda Mk.II May 44. This one is August 44. This one I think is Australian version. I think that's Australia markings. Correct me if I'm wrong, not sure. That's April 44. Decal sheet, photo etch. Again, you can have bombs if you want to, or the torpedo. And this side's the same. Big sturdy boxes I like, Trumpeter boxes, because they're strong. The packaging is done really well, and I think it's the best in the market. We have paperwork, what's coming up, Barracuda, like it shows. We have a ship and an armoured car. Marking options, again, it gives you a nice description. They've started to do that again. I know in the past they never did that. They just did generic markings and you couldn't really tell what squadron it was from, what era and where they were fighting and stuff. But I'm glad they've actually started to put a bit of information back in there again. Colour callouts, we've got Mr. Hobby, Vallejo, Tamir, Model Master, which doesn't even exist anymore, and Humble paints. Decals, we'll take a look at a little bit later. Starting to get a mask set in there now. It's a bit like wallpaper texture, it's a little bit thicker, but hopefully that's going to work. Hopefully it's die cut. I think it is. I think it is die cut. So we have one bag, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sprues in total, individually wrapped. And what I like about Trumpeter as well is the fragile parts are wrapped in foam. So as always, I'll start with the instructions, then we go into plastic and then talk about it. So basic instructions is always black and white from Trumpeter. This is the way they do theirs. I think their instructions are reasonable, they're okay to follow. First page, sprue layout, good way of checking, make sure everything's in your kit, make sure nothing's missing. And then we're starting off with the cockpit. We have cockpit floor, bulkhead, pilot seat, and then we've got the photo etch belts, flight stick or yoke, and then more seat belts. Again, a lot of this is being replaced with Mk.II aftermarket set. This is the aftermarket set that I'll be replacing it with. This is the 3D printed stuff, and obviously the 3D decals as well. But this is what we got in the kit. So if you're doing it out of the box, this is basically just following instructions as normal. These side parts is the detail for the cockpit. Another bulkhead, internal parts, flight instrument panel is a decal, more side parts of the cockpit. Then we go into the operators area, I think this is, or is it the gunners? I think this is the operators area because it has radio equipment and stuff. So here, radio operator's seat. Oh, and also probably the gunner's seat as well because it's all combined. Then we have their operational area, radios and stuff. Pretty easy to follow. You have decals all for the radio equipment, which is nicely done. Attaching it to the cockpit part, and then get one of the fuselage halves, the insert windows, the slots for the insert of the wing. Left and right is pretty much repeat. Painting callouts as you go along. Interior green, I think they're calling that for. We have the intake, front intake as well, don't forget to put that in. The cockpit can go in, masking up the windows, sandwiching the two halves together. We have open or closed. No, that's not a hatch, that's actually a window. Mast up again, a couple of detail parts on the outside. Rudder going on, more detail parts. Here's your rudder, two halves. A couple of lumps and bumps on the front. Canopy here, we have one piece canopy, or we have the separate parts, which allows for the opening on the canopy. And obviously you've got your mask call outs. Exhaust going in, extra lumps and bumps again. I'm going to probably end up having my canopy open if I can do it, because I've got all this Quinta set and you want that cockpit to be visible so you can see the nice detail. Here we have part of the tail, part of the whip, the insert of the wing being made. Now we have wings. This is a little bit complex. We have the landing gear and wings. We have the flaps down or up, all posable because it's in folded away position. So just check which way you want to do it. Aerials and stuff, all these fine detail parts I would leave towards the end because they're just going to get broken off. This is obviously just like left, and this is the right side. The right side's exactly the same. I think this is for wing fold. No, this is a wing fold or open options. So just be careful what ones you're doing. I'm going to have mine wing folded, canopy open, landing gear down, etc. Prop, spinner being attached, landing gear doors being attached, support struts, landing gear and doors. You can do, these arrows are pointing in certain directions, so you can have landing gear. Is it open and closed? No, you don't. Landing gear down only at the moment. It doesn't say anything about it being closed up, but I imagine you probably could. This is the landing gear down only. And then audience is torpedo and bombs. I'm not sure if it carries the bombs and torpedoes at the same time. I'll just have to check my references and stuff. Here is the completed model. Wings out or wings fold. Again, I'm not sure if it carry bombs on the wings when the wings folded. I don't think it would. The torpedo can be attached, but not the bombs. Decals, masks. As I said, the mask before, die cut. Nothing fancy about that. It's a nice touch they give it to you now. Markings. Quite vibrant in colour, quite glossy, doesn't seem too thick, but I've never used their marking, so I can't tell. I've always add aftermarket or cartograph markings I've always used. So if I can't get on with these, obviously I have to search for some aftermarket, but you get all the instrument panels and all the radio equipment, which is nicely done. Not a ton of stencils, there's only a handful of lettering as well, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Again, marking options, we have Mk.II. This is the one I'll probably doing, is I believe is dark green over dark sea grey with a sky underside, if I'm not mistaken. Colour callouts. Torpedo looks to be dark grey or dark sea grey with a black nose. Bombs of olive drab. This one here, August 44. Again, it's the same colours. Dark green, dark sea grey over sky. And I think this Australian one is, they're calling out for, what are they calling out for? This one, Dark Earth. Nope, not Dark Earth. They're calling out a colour mix for the earthy colour, and the green colour is, where is it? H73. Where's H73? That's calling out for dark green too. Again, I'm not sure. Just check references to make sure these colours are correct. Now we get into some plastic. So we have this large sprue here of the fuselage halves, the inserts for the wings, parts of the wing fold, front intake, instrument panel, parts of landing gear, a couple of fragile parts there though. Nice chunky airframe, nice raised, recessed and rivet detail in areas, pretty cool. It'll take a wash nicely, come out reasonably well. There's that intake, parts of the wing fold, parts of the landing gear, and then there is somewhat detail inside, a little bit. Couple of ejector pins in places you may have to take care of. That's a pretty standard as normal these days. Instrument panel, very basic, but again I'm replacing mine anyway. So here we have flaps, cockpit, firewall, internal parts, wheels. The wheels up here, two-piece. This is all recessed. A little bit of rib detail. This is all flat. Inch radios and stuff. Internals. Pretty good. Flaps, internals, bulkheads with radios. Wheels. So we have more flaps, tail section. There's two halves. These are all pretty much two halves. A couple of fragile parts here. Again, it has all that rivet detail, which is pretty nice. Rib detail. This is all kind of raised a little bit. Some fragile parts. What looks like a rester hook. Not sure. This one here is all the weapons, the bombs and torpedo and stuff. So you've got torpedo halves, bomb halves, racks, and mounting points. A couple of more flaps. The fin molded as one piece for the torpedo at the back. This is the torpedo rack. Here's your props and the little propellers and stuff for the torpedo. Here are the racks, bombs, torpedo, props, some more flaps, another tail wheel, or I think that is it tail wheel, a couple of more propellers. So this one has been wrapped up, so this has got some delicate parts in it probably. So we'll see if we can get this off without damaging it too much, because I want to wrap it back up again when I'm finished. So this is why they've done it, because you've got loose parts, aerials, guns and flaps parts. This is sprue E, nose cone, it's part of your spinner. There's a seat there, a couple of seats here, exhausts, not moulded with any hollow points at the aerials, exhausts. Fragile parts, I think that's the pilot seat. Inserts, part of the nose cone, which is here. Landing gear, doors. Another section of seat, which is here and here. Wheel wells, sections. They've got ejector pins on them, unfortunately. They've got to take care of them. Landing gear doors, ejector pins on them as well. They've got to be taken care of. Aerials. We have slide molded scoops. Here's another seat. So that's pretty nice. These two bags, I'm pretty sure the Canopy parts. I think this is the one-piece Canopy. Yeah, this is the one-piece Canopy. So yeah, the one-piece Canopy, very crystal clear, very sharp in detail. It's quite raised as well, so you could mask up and cut it yourself, but why would you when you've got a mask set in the kit? Hopefully it's going to work perfectly fine. That's nicely done. Wrap that up in a second. And this is obviously the individual part Canopy, the open version. Hopefully it's not too thick of a glass. So a couple of windows and then the open version of Canopy. But I will need these. I will need these two parts actually as well off this sprue. So yeah, crystal clear. Don't see a problem with that at all. Where's yeah, that's sharp. That's clear. Pretty good. And obviously these will be perfectly fine because they're flat. Nicely done, Trumpeter. Nice clear parts again. Last two bags, pretty much wings. So there's a quick butchers of these. Nice detail. Obviously no internals, but there are structural parts because there's no actual wing spar, I noticed. Upper wing section, nicely done. There are some raised rivets and some raised areas. This is all. These little hatches, these squares, they're raised bolts. You know, these are raised around here, but the rest of this is all recessed. This is raised as well. So nicely done. Just come up with a nice wash and weathering. Should come out nicely. One thing I did forget that was in the bottom of the bag and box was the photo etch parts. It's just general seat belts. Nicely done. Like I say, I'll be replacing mine with the upgrade sets. If you want to see reviews on these, let me know in the description and I can do that. This is the cockpit, radio operators area and gunner station. There you are, my friends, another beautiful kit from Trumpeter, 1/48 scale Barracuda. It's a pretty good kit in my opinion. They've done nice detail, well packaged, the box is well packaged. Hopefully it goes together nicely. The quintet is going to make it just a little bit extra. You don't have to do the quintet. It's sufficient out of the box. I think so. But it's aftermarket is your call. If you want to go that way, you don't have to do it. So I'll catch you next time. Like, comment, subscribe. Laters.